Hey, John, what would you suspect the timeline would be with Garoppolo? Do you think this will come right down to the deadline of whether you have to release him or guarantee him?
Yeah, I think we're getting pretty close. From the beginning, I think our take has been that, Jimmy's a good player. He's a starting quarterback all day long in this league, and I think proven to be a really good one. And just look at the record, look at where he's taken us. And so with guys like that, you don't just give it away. And I think there's been some complications that have been much chronicled with his injury. The good news is he's kind of come out of that. And, no one's really, presented something that would make us jump as to now. So I think the options, not much has changed. The options are open, but just like always, having some sort of a deadline tends to force action on these things, and we'll see. And if not, I think everything's open, and I'm just, proud of Jimmy that he's handled it so well.
Literally, who will rid me of this meddlesome priest in Jimmy Garoppolo? Hey, we finally worked it in, but not quite the same idea. But they're trying to sell this car, and nobody wants to buy it. Hey, I got this really nice car that you should want. Somebody out there should really want this car, and I have a price on it that reflects the fact that it's a valuable car. Why won't anybody call me? I got the for sale sign. I got the phone number. I checked to make sure it's the right number. Please call me and offer me something that I think this car is worth. And there continues to be, and I don't know if it's BS or it truly is a sense that they're perplexed by the fact that no one recognizes how great Jimmy Garoppolo is. Well, you're the ones that have decided to get rid of him. What do you expect? What do you expect? You decided last year, we can't win with this guy. Let's go draft a rookie that we don't know whether or not he's going to be any good. And now this year they're going into the fire with Trey Lance, not knowing whether he's going to be any good, and Jimmy Garoppolo's done. And Myles, look, the two key dates are August 30, 6 days from today when the rosters go to 53, and then September 10. If he's on the roster at 4 p.m. Eastern on September 10, the day before they play their Week 1 game at Chicago, his $24.2 million base salary is, as a practical matter, guaranteed. And they pay it out to him in 18 chunks, 1 week at a time. But if they cut him, because he's a vested veteran under the CBA, he has the right to termination pay, and he gets all that money with no offset if he goes and plays somewhere else if he's cut at some point. And I could see them hold him until the trade deadline, and then after that, maybe do an OBJ deal where he gives up some of his termination pay to get free to go sign with someone. But would they really be? And I know Jed York pops off about this from time to time, and I think that's just noise. Would Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch really devote $24.2 million or half of that amount or 75% of that? Money could go to other players like Nick Bosa, other players that are going to emerge as stars this year you want to keep. Would they really do that just so they can continue to squat on a guy that maybe they can pull a Carson Palmer rabbit out of the hat right before the trade deadline, like the Bengals did when Palmer quit on them 11 years ago and they managed to trade him to the Raiders? I guess I can't rule out anything, but it just seems like it would be really dumb for them to guarantee $24.2 million when it's obvious no one wants Jimmy Garoppolo, and you are just waiting for someone to tear an ACL or blow out an Achilles and give you something for this guy that you're going to otherwise pay all this money to.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, as a practical matter, I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo really wants to be there either. I mean, what they're doing is a very weird thing, right? He's at the 49ers facility. He's on a throwing program. So he's like away from everybody else, but he's still there, but he's not participating in the meeting. So even if Trey Lance were to, knock on wood, like go down, like Jimmy Garoppolo really would not be prepared to lead the 2022 version of the San Francisco offense at this point, because he has not been a part of the offseason program, of minicamp, or really even of training camp. So the fact that they could keep him on the roster, they have the salary flexibility, let's call it, to keep him there. I guess they could do it, but I don't think they want to do it. They have moved on from Jimmy Garoppolo. he's basically there, but he's not there. So I think Jimmy Garoppolo wants to be out of there. I think Kyle Shanahan would probably prefer it if he was out of there so that he would have to, not answer questions about him anymore. I mean, Shanahan said yesterday that any scenario was possible, but like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem like that's something that's really going to be. But you made like the car analogy. I think it's great, man. Because like, so I drive a GTI, right? And then there's a car dealership down the street, a GTI that was a couple, model years newer than mine. I go and I test drive it. And apparently, like I said online, it's got leather, it's got the upgraded stereo, it's got this and it's got that, right? But I go test drive it and it has none of those things. And so I'm like, well, no, I don't really want this car because my car has more features. Even though it's older, it's a better car. So like you can have any of these scenarios. And if you're like the Texans, for instance, well, this Davis Mills, he does some things that maybe Jimmy Garoppolo can do, but we actually want to see what he can do. We've already got a car. We've already got a quarterback. So we don't necessarily need your guy. What are we going to give you like a 3rd round pick for when we've already got somebody who's a 3rd round pick and maybe he can do something with Pep Hamilton as his offensive coordinator? So I get why around the league, people aren't just clamoring to go get Jimmy Garoppolo, even though, at least in my mind, he's like a 15 to 20 quarterback.
I think he's closer to 20 than 15, but still, that would put him better than a third of the league, even if he's 20. Right. There's 12 starting quarterbacks worse than him. The complicating factor is the $24.2 million salary. You got to work out a deal with him and the 49ers to make this fit. And if they do get lucky, and they very well may, it would be very unlucky for another team. But if there is a Teddy Bridgewater scenario that happens at some point between now and September 10, problem solved. Somebody becomes desperate. Somebody gives them what they want. Now, it could be that whoever is interested in a quarterback tries to leverage the Panthers and the 49ers against each other because maybe there's a path to Sam Darnold that would be cheaper than Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know. But I think he's at least in play now, even if Garoppolo's the better option. But at least it's not as hopeless as it was for the Vikings, who just had to cough up a 1 and a 4 for Sam Bradford for crying out loud. So that's what they're hoping for.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.